And next up, we've got a live one.
Yeah. We had do either of you want to give a chance and say that name?
Yeah, Legorve Genine.
There we go. All right. We were waiting on them to come home. There was a bit of good timing here.
Scramble.
Yep.
Yeah, hey,
Yep.
live esports, just like live sports,
Yep.
can be a little unpredictable, but that's one of the things we kind of love about it. And in
Yep.
this case, one of the competitors is racing home, just arrived apparently. They are drafting. We're getting into the
Yep.
picks and bans.
Yep.
Kletos, do
Good
you have
news
those
is,
already?
yep, we do in fact have them
Kletos
already.
is the man. Oh, Kletos is killing it today.
Yep. The first ban. I don't know what to say about this one. Not a huge fan of this band. The band from Legorve, Tayen.
Oh, Legorve Bantayan. Okay, fair enough. All right.
And then the next band, I actually kind of like this band from monaters. I mean, what am I saying? Yep, that is right. Veranda. I think it's actually monitors, something like that. But I
No, Monaters, yeah, it's
I think
Monaters.
it's Monaters. I've always been saying Monaters, and I haven't been corrected yet.
Yep.
You are correct. It's actually, so if I didn't know for a fact, I would totally agree it's probably Monitors as a joke, but it's not. It really is Monaters, so you're good.
All right. Anyway, the first pick coming out of Legorve is Modern. We get to see more of that. We get to see much more of that. Woo.
Yeah.
More than just the one game.
No, Legorve has selected Modern the most and banned Tayen only. That's the only thing they've banned. So Legorve is just playing their standard game here. And Monaters banned Veranda because that's Legorve's second most picked venue.
Yep. Anyway, Monaters is going for High Rise as their double pick.
Ooh, okay.
Kind of the opposite of Modern in some ways.
Fair to say.
Anyway, ooh, here we go. What do you think it is?
I don't know. You take a guess, Taboshi.
It's Courtyard. I'm just going to say
Courtyard?
it.
Okay.
I can't hold it in. Ooh.
Oh, they're already in the first game. Okay.
All right. Anyway, so let's get through this last one real quick. It's Balcony. Nothing much needs to be said about that one.
Yep.
All right. Let me get into it here.
Yep. We'll have to count it in now because we're not starting at the same time, and autoplay, and then for the second one, we should all be able to catch up based on the delay.
Sounds good. Let me know when you're ready.
All right. Where are they?
Oh, they're down a little bit. Yeah, gotta scroll.
There we go. There was just like 20 spectators going on here. Oops. And let me make sure that I got autoplay next game going here.
Yep.
I probably
and we'll talk about Oak in just a second too once we get started. This has huge Oak implications.
All right, there we go. All right, so I'm ready to go when you guys
Let's get this thing underway in 3,
Wait,
2,
hold up.
1.
Let me actually make the game visible also. All right.
Round 2.
I am ready. I am absolutely ready.
In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
All right. We are away. Monaters going to start off as Duke here, yeah. And I mentioned Oak. Technically, Dells, Monaters, and Legorve are all tied at 18 points, but that doesn't tell the whole story because matches have been played out of order. Dells is 9-2, Monaters is 9-2, Legorve is 9-0. 3 of those are forfeits, but yeah, Legorve has not lost. One of the few people left, one of just, I think, 3 people who could still have a perfect season. How much you want to credit those forfeits is up to you, but here's the thing. All the non-forfeit games, the scores are 7-2, 7-2, 7-3, 7-2, 7-0, 7-2, 7-0. No one's even gotten to 4.
That is an impressive scoreline. Monaters opens things up at Statue, grabs a pair of Inspects, and is now stepping into Green Bookcase. And is Highlight, and is getting a Fingerprint. So things are happening.
Things are happening for sure. Monaters, by the way, unique among SCL competitors, I believe. Played in Season 1, then took 3 seasons off, came back late in Season 4, and here they are in Season 5. That's why somebody with this many games, thousands and thousands, is actually still in Oak.
Looks like we're going in for our first flirt here. I was worried we were going to put that book back real fast, but nope, just going for the flirt. There it goes. Green test for 51%. Under 3 minutes to play now, but plenty of progress.
Fingerprint is very interesting. Monaters has only fingerprinted 5% of the time so far this season. That is really low.
Double Agent steps in to have a chat with us, and we take her up on the offer. Contact is coming off.
Banana bread.
There it goes.
That's a good one.
4, 5 lowlights, 6 lowlights, 2 are at statues.
It's all right, but here's the thing. The 2 fullest conversations both had a DA or an SDA in them. Not bad.
This is very true. Not bad at all. Green Book goes back where we found it innocently. 2 minutes left to play. Stepping back into the flirt. A weird, bad, unfortunate entry into conversation, though.
Putting that book back is a little surprising. That's a lot of time to dedicate to one fingerprint.
Yeah.
But look at this. We have a couple inspects done too, and the flirt's mostly done. So Monaters actually has a lot of ways to finish this game, especially if the Ambassador goes to bar and lets us get a purloin and a fingerprint simultaneously. And I think they might be heading over there.
Yeah, it looks like that's the plan. No, we're going to red bookcase. Flirt came off, the second one, for 85% now. We're getting the second fingerprint, trying for a difficult at bookcase. Not able to get it. Now we're going to have to go for a difficult at bar.
Yeah, and 2 difficults back-to-back is really tough. That's a red test at the red shelf. That's not what you needed. I can appreciate the attempt, though, because you're in a really good position if you hit it. Now you got to go to the bar instead. I don't think Monaters maybe even noticed. I think they might have been watching the bookcase that whole time instead of the bar, and they might not know that fingerprint's there.
I think you may be right. Flirt at the statue. There's that done. There's the inspect getting done. $45 seconds to play. We still need 2 missions. Are we just gonna bug here? No, we're not. Thank God.
Wow. Well, the upside of not bugging there is that if the sniper's confident you didn't, that's actually pretty AI-like. Spies hate to do that. They hate to walk close to the Ambassador and not bug, because it might get mistaken for a bug anyway. The exception being if you're up against a really good sniper, and you can be confident they're not going to mistake it for a bug.
This is very true.
Uh-oh, how are we going to finish here? We got 2 more missions to do. If this doesn't have a fingerprint,
It's
there's no way.
just cheese! But he's not able to get it done. I don't think it would have happened anyways.
Wow. I think that's, I mean, we're obviously going to get into this next one really, really quick because we started that one a little bit late. They're about to start here, but I think the crucial moment there was going for the difficult at red instead of taking the sure thing at bar and then also having the purloin available to you as a result.
And we are back into things. The Grove up by 1 from the sniper side. Now in the spy shoes, Monaters on the sniper. Early time ad gives us a plus 45 seconds.
Yeah, by the way, Legorve's numbers, which we haven't discussed yet, 85% at sniper. Pretty high, but in Oak, you'll see that sometimes when you kind of get these players who play a lot of games real quick. The spy rate, though, is almost 80% too. That's disgusting.
Oh my God.
Again, it's Oak, right? So you're facing a very wide variety of skill levels, a lot of new players still there, but still, that shows a core competence.
Yeah, very much so. Attempted reverse drive-by bug as the Ambassador saunters on by, does not take, but also, as far as I can tell, was not seen. In conversation with the double agent now, picking up that contact.
The question for me tonight is Legorve actually gonna finish missions? Because they haven't really been tested by a good and patient sniper yet. A lot of these games have had sieve shots, and as I mentioned before, none of them have been close. Legorve has not really had to play under pressure at all yet. Monaters might be the first person to really put them to the test, and I really want to see how they respond, because until you put a Spy Party player in that position, you don't actually know what they're made of, no matter how high those numbers are.
5 lowlights off of the contact, picking up a delegate from bar, picking up a highlight from something or other. I wasn't paying close enough attention, and now we are stepping in to see what we can do at the statues. Pair of inspects, and that's going to be all.
Pretty pretty standard, and good progress so far, but no flirts.
Well, we're looking to remedy that right now as we step in right next to the seduction target. First flirt is white for 34%, and we step away with a delegate. But we also went to the bar real quick, so this might just not come off. Gets a fingerprint, though. So that's why we rushed so fast to the bar. Does not get the fingerprint, though. I mean, the gets the fingerprint, doesn't get the purloin.
And fingerprint is their least completed mission, only a little less than swap. I think Monaters is probably going to know that, too, that it's pretty low, and that they purloin quite a bit, by the way, 60% of the time, more than they bug, almost as much as they seduce in contact.
Wow, we're really body blocking Smallman here, aren't we?
Yeah, we are, and you can see a lot of partial progress here. So on one hand,
oh no, red
that
flirt!
That's a big deal, and especially because we're having a little bit of trouble there, we need at least 2 more. On one hand, you see partial progress across a lot of missions, but you and I know that that's actually very deceiving, because the odds that something isn't going to go wrong with any of them can be kind of small when you're under 2 minutes, which we are right now.
Yeah, this is a big ask. We are being so rude to Smallman right now. Look at this.
Yeah. No
that
comment.
Poor man.
No comment. Look, he's gotten me killed so many times. I just don't know how much sympathy I have.
Well, spent a lot of time idling in that conversation. Now back into bar we go. Time is definitely starting to tick down. We still need 2 flirts.
This has to be a delegate. I mean, you have to keep this in your back pocket. You're just not going to finish otherwise, I don't think, right? It's going to be the bar. Yeah, it's going to be the reject fake. And you're going to try to get a few things done at once here in this conversation.
Oh, never mind. The shot just comes off from Monaters. And Legorve doesn't even have to... Legorve, sorry, doesn't even have to prove it.
That's rough, because what I was talking about was starting to come to pass. Legorve was having a little bit of trouble finishing there. They were running out of time. General shot for a fingerprint, as I mentioned. Legorve does not fingerprint very often and has only reached mission win countdown in a third of their spy games so far. So I'm a little surprised that Monaters took that shot. That can't have been in the game plan.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate loss for Monaters.
Yeah, that's going to put them in a tough position, and you still haven't tested them. Tested them. That's the thing.
Well, Legorve now up 2-0 as Monaters steps back onto the sniper side of... the spy side of things. Legorve on the sniper.
Is this true random character selection? Because there are a lot of people, even if they like to random, who are going to get stuck with white dress on Modern and say, one more click.
That's true. We get sunshined as well, so that's not going to help.
Yeah, and suddenly those are absolute death here, too. If you want to chase a fingerprint, if you want to chase a seduction target, whatever, double agent, if you get some bad luck on those, it's absolutely brutal when you're Sorry or White Dress or someone like that. It doesn't seem like character speed should matter so much. In a lot of venues it doesn't, but in this one it absolutely does. You have to factor it into every single decision you make.
Finally gets his seduction target wrangled and gets 51% on the flirt as well, so that could be very important moving forward if we're able to get the second green.
Yeah, absolutely. That will counteract the slow character downside quite a bit if you can 2 flirt.
Now stepping into bar, looking to pick up a delegate.
Legorve has not moved the sniper camera in, I'd say, 20 seconds.
It's not a bad position for it.
It's similar to that terrace angle I mentioned earlier. It's that sort of 60 to 65% from the right kind of move.
Weird little redirect coming out from Monaters on the way out of the bar. Just goes to windows and then heads back into the fray. Not really sure what the reasoning for that was, but it looks like we are heading to red bookcase. Look how little progress we have with 2 minutes and 35 to play.
Yeah, this is a bit of a problem, and we saw it burn them last time. They had to rush that book. I think they were maybe already a pretty big suspect by then, but it was an easy shot given how aggressive that book had to be at the end. You can't afford to end up in that position again, and with a slow character, you need to be even more proactive before you get to that point.
Well, picks up a fingerprint off of the bookcase.
Yep, and we delegate to Salmon and immediately stop talk.
Seduction target at red bookcase as well, so an excuse to get the green flirt before we put the book back.
Perlin did not take, though. Even though they were right there next to the bar, they waited so long, they tried to thread the needle again right at the end of the range, and it didn't take. I don't know if it would have been good or not, but it doesn't take, and now we are running out of time.
Are we
And the end of red.
looking at the same game? Because I'm confused.
I don't know.
just got shot for me. Because he just
same
died.
here. Yep,
Okay.
same here. There was a delegate to Salmon earlier.
Oh, okay.
But it was so late in the process. After they came out of red bookshelves, they delegated to Salmon, immediately stopped talking, and then went back to red bookshelves. But even though they were right next to the bar, they did it so late in the timer that the timer expired.
Okay, I understand now. I got mixed up. I thought you were saying monaters was the one at the bar, and
Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, anyway, it was a valiant little attempt, but as you could see, they were just all over it anyway. I think they probably even saw the stop talk, and Legorve is just sniping too darn well. I don't think monaters is going to be able to get a lot of spy wins by. The thing that was going to keep them in this match, and still might, is they have to lock down this spy. They have to make Legorve do the missions.
speaking of Legorve, he's not on a pad. Now he's on a pad. Now he just bugged in there. That was
Oh,
heck of a way to make the most of a bad situation.
Monaters was zoomed in on the ambassador at bar because they were worried about exactly that. Several seconds pass. Monaters says, I guess we're in the clear, zooms back out, and that's when the bug happens.
The timing on that, man.
Yes, just when the sniper decides they have the all clear, just when they decide it's safe, that's when the spy can do it sometimes. You have to have a good sense for when that is, and in Monaters, that's the worst of both worlds. You spent that time staring at that instead of something else in the chaos, and you missed it anyway because you stopped looking right before it happened.
But the thing is, like, that step forward on the pad there was a clear hardtail. So even if he just saw that, but as you were saying, because he looked away at that exact moment.
I mean, if you'd even waited a second or two, you would have seen that they didn't request anything at bar because they can't. So that alone would have been a hard tell.
Yeah. So Legorve gets the bug off completely for free.
Well, but here's another thing, too. You saw Monaters shoot kind of early, kind of aggressively. I mean, I saw General doing some stuff, but I didn't see anything too crazy. So maybe you're going to try to finish. Maybe you're going to try to go halfway and see what happens. But a part of you probably wants to say, I'm up 3-0 already, and the sniper's taken one jumpy shot. Why don't I just wait and see if they're going to shoot again?
Delegates literally a second before the cooldown expires. That's not going to take.
No, that's all downside at that point. There are a couple times, there are a couple scenarios where I think that can make sense, but most of the time I think it's just a lack of awareness about the timer and what's viable. I know it seems like that's not going to take very long when they're close, but there's always several seconds.
Yeah. Now stepping into the statues. Like, even having gotten that early bug, Legorve is a little bit behind the curve here.
Yes, absolutely. We're seeing the same thing. And once again, they make it to like a couple minutes into the game without a single flirt. Legorve eschews the early flirt that is so common in so many of these spy games that we cast.
This is very true. Innocent watch check here at Windows, under 2 minutes to play. If Monaters can hold his shot, I think he's in a good position here.
Yeah, because Legorve is going to have to probably do a lot of stuff at the end of the game.
And the end of red.
Contact comes off. Where's the reaction?
There's not much. What is going on here?
Is that a sweet why?
I think he was just assuming that the book came from somewhere else, and it's just another, again,
What?
it's not putting the
And the
pressure
red.
on Legorve to actually finish.
Wasn't in the conversation though.
At this point, you know, Monaters.
Oh, actually, he was. He just split out of the back
Yeah, but
conversation.
there was no
directly into-
DA in that conversation, so.
Yeah, look, I understand the splits. How much suspicion you assign to a split is something people differ on quite a bit. Quite a bit. I can understand that.
man.
I generally incline towards less suspicion for it unless I'm already onto someone for something, maybe. I will say that in this case, it looks a lot like split into dump the book in the wrong shelf.
Yeah.
But if you're not sure of that, and there's 2 minutes left, and you don't have them as a suspect otherwise, and I don't think they had him as much of a suspect otherwise,
Yep.
it's just too quick. It's just too aggressive, too nervous.
Yeah, and since it was a fake, since it would have had to have been a fake BB, you can hold
Right.
that. You can hold that shot.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and again, I mentioned earlier that Legorve has only reached Mission Win Countdown in a third of their games so far. So if you've studied them at all, you've seen that they really haven't had to do it that much. And you really are just not putting them to the
shots
test.
from Monaters, as now he's in the spy side of High Rise. No purloin, no swap, no transfer.
Yep, and now Monaters is down 4-0 in High Rise, and you can stage a comeback here. But I think at minimum, with the way Legorve is sniping, you're going to need at least 3 out of 4 wins here to have a viable chance at scoring any points.
Yeah, I think so. What Monaters really needs to do is calm down and take his time on the sniper side of things. It's jumpy shots that are losing him. It's really killing this match for him right now. Tries to bug on the way in, doesn't take, and gets caught out. That's 5-0. This is starting to get almost insurmountable.
Yeah, it's pretty close. I don't have a problem with the bug in theory, but it's actually similar to what I mentioned earlier about the aggressive bugs earlier on the 3-5 variants. AIs are going to finish a lot. Take the bug if it's a really good opportunity, and that was not a really good opportunity. It wasn't really well blocked. It wasn't, the front conversation AMBA facing towards the sniper, that kind of thing, where maybe you credit a bug path but don't see the bug. I can understand those. It wasn't even a momentary decision thing where maybe you would have thought better of it. He had a chance to plan that, and it wasn't a good time to bug. It feels like one of those things where they decided, I want to bug this game. And even though the ambassador is not in the right position, you just sort of force it anyway. And against a sniper like Legorve, it's not going to work. And at this point, you needed that spy win really, really badly. And again, the threshold for the risk reward on those bugs has to be a little higher on these 3-5 variants.
Just doesn't work out for Monaters. It's just not going his way. Legorve now on the spy side. And now, in this situation, Monaters' itchy trigger finger might actually work in his favor, as Legorve isn't able to get that first flirt off, so.
We'll see, but Legorve has gotten Civ shot twice on Modern already, a lot earlier than you normally see them shot on Modern. So on a 3-5 variant, are they really going to try to finish here?
Fingerprint off of the briefcase, to me, is a pretty clear indicator that we're going to try to finish.
I would think so. Maybe, again, just options. I don't know if Legorve's going to have any trouble finishing on a 3-5 variant. I think they have multiple countdowns already on that. It's Modern that was going to be the real test, except they were never tested.
Never tested. Now in conversation with the double agent. 2 minutes and 45 seconds is plenty of time to get literally anything done.
Yeah, but again, Legorve is just not interested in those early flirts. It's incredible. They're so standard across so many different divisions and playstyles and everything. There are only a handful of exceptions. And even those exceptions, they just don't do it immediately. They'll wait 20 seconds like a good boy. But Legorve is waiting a minute and a half pretty regularly. Even on venues on Modern where you really can't justify it. You can get away with it here on High Rise, potentially. And if you thought they were going to complete based on that fingerprint, the question is, do you still think that now at 2 minutes? And are they thinking about completing without Seduce?
That's a good question. Here's the contact coming off.
Banana bread.
That's out. A big statue visitor gone.
Yep, not a center statue visitor, but still a statue visitor, and we haven't had that many. This has actually been a really rough game for framing AIs, potentially.
Under 2 minutes now. We have the contact, we have one fingerprint, we have no flirts. Now, finally, we're stepping in to the seduction. But this is gonna get dicey, because this is like less than balcony amounts of time, and we're not taking the flirt right away.
Yeah.
There's the first one. It's a white test for 34%, but we're already down to 1:15.
Yep, that has major implications just immediately. Just not hitting that green.
Can monaters hold the shot?
They haven't yet, and they really, really, really need to now.
1 minute now. Is this going to be a timer flirt? I think this is going to be a timer flirt. I don't know how I feel about this.
I mean, you would have to, after the timer flirt, you'd have to walk out, bug, come right back after the cooldown, and flirt, and probably still have overtime. I don't think so. I think Legorve might be saying, go ahead, hold your shot. You haven't done it yet. And you're going to do it now in a 3-5 variant? I'm up 5-0. Who cares? I'll throw it away. I'll just time out to prove a point, give myself a chance, and see if they don't shoot. I don't have any problem with it, frankly. I think in a metagame sense, it's fine.
Bastard didn't take the drink. Seduction target steps away. There's no fingerprint available, I don't think.
No, I mean, Legorve doesn't care. Legorve's not looking for fingerprint anymore. That ship has sailed, unless they bug right here. Legorve is up 5-0, and they're going to dare him to shoot. Maybe time ad just in case, but they've already tried it. They wanted to make sure monaters would hold their shot. They did, so now it's going to be a time ad instead. General's going to check.
Green test. General checks watch at the same time. It was a little bit early.
No!
Countdown. The wrong shot. Are you kidding me?
Did you see how General was actually blocking Twin? And the second he shot him, he moves out of the way to reveal the actual time adder right behind him, as if to say, aha, rip the mask off. It was me, Twin, the whole time.
This hurts
disgusting.
me, Trav. This is salt in the wound.
Monaters did it. He said, show me the countdown this time. Legorve couldn't do it or didn't do it. And somehow a highlight, one of the only few highlights, comes over and checks his watch at the same time. Are you kidding me? And body blocks the entire person?
You can't write that stuff.
That's evil. That's evil.
To be
Monaters
fair,
did what he had to do.
You could see Twin's face if you looked hard enough.
I guess, but I will say this. Even though Monaters did what they had to, at the end there, you don't have to shoot.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
don't
can wait
shoot
for
the time ad, for sure.
Now, look, even if General walks back into a conversation after that and talks and you shoot them, maybe it's the same outcome, but it makes way more sense and you probably feel a lot better about yourself, too.
I mean, at the very least, you know you can wait for 10 seconds of overtime.
So many things could have happened differently there. That was the only way I think Monaters was going to lose that game, and it somehow happened. I guess small solace that it takes place when you're already down 5-0 because a comeback was already going to be so difficult, but now, technically, a comeback for a win is literally impossible. It's 6-0.
Yeah.
We did see
6-0 Monaters on the spy side of High Rise. This hurts.
That was hard. I feel bad because I think Monaters had finally maybe settled down a little bit, did what they needed to do, and Legorve has still not come anywhere near mission completes in any of these games.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Legorve still has not been tested, really.
And I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm just saying they haven't had to. And that's still a distinction that I place a lot of value in personally as SpyParty prodigies rise through the ranks. And Legorve, fair to say, absolutely a SpyParty prodigy, particularly on the sniper side. I think they're going to be good on the sniper side regardless. The question is, if you can lock down that spy, you force them to have to win, almost all their sniper games. And that's tough for anyone to do. But if you're going to shoot Civ over and over again, then you're just going to make it too easy for them, and that's why no one's even come close to beating them so far.
Fingerprint on a briefcase on the way in. Fingerprint on a drink on the way out.
And the end of red.
Now taking a contact. This is lining up pretty well for Monaters.
I think that might have been aggressive.
Lowlights.
Yeah, so that rocker low light, I think she might have taken the drink after the BB. If it were a green, I don't think that was actually a hard low light. I think that was a little aggressive on Legorve's part, but it turns out to be right.
Now with 2 minutes left to play, we're heading back in to try for the flirts. No first flirt yet, interestingly enough. Under 1 minute and 45 now.
Yeah, the fingerprint's done, so you can avoid statues. You can't timer flirt, though, especially with that white test. And I think at this point, Legorve has it so narrowed down that even though all the flirt is all that's left, I don't think monaters can win this very easily. It's going to be tough.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
I think monaters probably has this, depending on, because I know that Seduce is a floating point value. So in SpyParty alone, 33 plus 33 plus 33 can equal 100.
Yes, we can math that. We can do math to it and make it 100. Don't worry. It's possible, but the timer flirt thing, you need the ST to not bail. You're going to chase them with a slow character. Legorve is staring at these 3 characters, and I get the impression he's staring at Smallman a little less than the other 2. Uh-oh, floating point hasn't helped us yet.
Not yet. Second flirt brings up to 66. I would step away and come back now, because it's still very doable.
Between the between Duke and Kane there. Or this will work too.
Yep, selection target takes the decision into his own hands, but
Rocker takes the
Rocker
spot.
decides she just doesn't like monaters.
Wait, Smallman left. That could have been close enough. If you squished in, that might have been close enough.
This still might be close enough. It's a little bit far. I think it's too know.
Far. And
Can he hit the green test? Can he hit the green test? No, he hits a red test!
Oh, and he gets shot anyway. It wasn't going to matter. It wasn't going to matter.
He also ignored Toby, so that didn't help.
I wonder if that was it. Oh my God! I don't know if it was going to matter in the end. The BB just narrowed it down enough, and that is a shutout. That's 7-0. Didn't have to be that way.
That should not have been 7-0.
No, it should not have been 7-0. But if you lend monaters a little more patience on several games, I think we have a really interesting match on our hands. I think monaters is more than capable going toe-to-toe with Legorve, especially as sniper. I think we could have had like a sniper party or something. I don't know how many spy wins you're going to get by Legorve right now. They're sniping really, really well. But it's just one of those games where monaters made a few mistakes and didn't get any breaks either. And that's usually what happens when 2 players play and it's lopsided.